Hello fellow mutants, welcome back to another video, and in this video we're going to talk about The Last Jedi, and I realized I never really gave my, formal thoughts of The Last Jedi or the sequel trilogy, so, if you guys hadn't noticed, I have made a Force Awakens review, and a holiday special review, and soon to be, if I haven't uploaded already, solo Star Wars story review, and that's all because the Star Wars fan holiday being May 4th, Friends with the 5th, Return on the 6th. So I figured I would take this weekend to take, since it's a fan holiday, review the Disney era Star Wars films, if that makes sense. So with that said, I'm not sure which day I'm gonna post this video, May the 4th, Revenge with the 5th, or Return of the 6th. But anyways, if you guys celebrate those 3 days, this is part of me trying to celebrate with you guys and go with the flow. So, happy May the 4th, Revenge with the 5th, Return of the 6th, was every day I decided to post this on, because I don't know. Anyways, Last Jedi, Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Remember going the hype? The hype was real. Some people disliked The Force Awakens, but there was still enough hype for The Last Jedi. Enough people enjoyed. I feel like Rogue One, where it gave us excitement for The Last Jedi. So this was a fun time. Just seeing all the excitement happen. And it was a fun time being a Star Wars nut that I am, because I enjoy seeing other people being happy, being excited, and so essentially, The Last Jedi picks up where The Force Awakens left off. With a little synopsis of the Force Awakens before going here, because kind of does tie into, they make some references in The Force Awakens. The Force Awakens was a whole movie about the Resistance, the First Order, fighting over the map to find Luke Skywalker, who has been in hiding due to the Jedi Temple, the Jedi practically getting nearly extinct, and he is the last Jedi. And it turns out that Kylo Ren is the Jedi that pretty much executed Order 66.2.0. And essentially, Rey and Finn fights Kylo Ren in the Starkiller base. Finn gets in a coma. Rey gives Kylo Ren a scar that apparently moves in this movie, and Han Solo dies, and Rey finds Luke Skywalker. So, little recap out of the way. So in this movie, the Resistance is trying to get from their previous base to a different base, because the First Order, I guess, has found their base, and they're trying to evacuate. And this entire movie, for the Resistance angle, they're low on fuel. And so, essentially, Finn and Rose Tico tries finding fuel by going to the Code Breaker, which, that's all a mess in itself. They don't exactly find fuel, per se, I don't think. If I remember correctly, it's been a few years since I've seen it. But, long story short, Finn and Rose try to help the Resistance. They essentially go to this rich-ass planet where there's slavery, make this whole slavery statement, find the Code Breaker, which essentially the Code Breaker works for the First Order, which we see this duel with Captain Phasma and Finn. It was pretty cool, but the only thing is that I have to say is that I wish, it would have been nice to have Captain Phasma actually do something besides, having be in the movie for, 5 whole seconds. Because she did not do shit in this movie. She did not do really anything in the last movie either, except getting like thrown in a garbage chute. This time, she kind of like dies, and I feel like she should have survived for like Finn to have someone to fight with, like this epic duel in the next movie. But not to mention they killed off like Admiral Akbar just because the First Order also decides to go with this battle, and like Leia and Kylo Ren has this force connection, and Leia gets blown out in space, has this little Mary Poppins moment back to the ship, which she's in like in coma for like a decent portion of the movie until like towards the third act when she gains consciousness and knocks Poe out with a stun blaster. And Rey, while this is all happening, is trying to get Luke to go back to the Jedi Order, Resistance, to help them. Luke says it's time for the Jedi to end. Luke apparently gives this bullshit story about what happened the day Ben Solo turned to Kylo Ren. Ben Solo tells his side. Rey confronts Luke. Luke confesses. Rey says, "Yeah, you're a piece of shit. I'm going." Rey flies over to try to redeem Ben Solo, or Kylo Ren, to be Ben Solo again. Pretty much trying to pull Luke Skywalker to her fate of being Kylo Ren. And then both, like, Kylo Ren does kill Snoke. There's this throne room scene that's like supposed to be actiony. And then it so happens that Holdo does this ram thing that kills her, rams this Star Cruiser into the First Order ship that so happened Rey to be on, allows Rey to escape, and Luke talks with Yoda. Yoda saying, "I did not train you to go on hiding. We failed. We need to get up. Keep moving forward." And then practically also suiciding on the Sacred Jedi text tree thing. And Luke, the entire time when he was like training Rey, he teaches Rey how to use the Force. Like, what is the Force, which I liked. Then explains his side, like, now that the Jedi are over, the Jedi are dead, pretty much nearly dead. The Jedi are romanticized, deified. Which is a pretty decent lesson, but like, I wish the second lesson that was deleted in the deleted scenes was in the actual movie, because I think that could have been like a somewhat of a good like thing to show to audience, because like it could show us like, yeah, even though Luke was trying to pull a prank on Rey, it could have been a useful thing to show, like, maybe Rey referencing in the like later down in the timeline, like that time that Luke made me do like rush to save those people was a good lesson, that I shouldn't always like act on instinct. I should wait and pause and think. Wish that was in there. Same with like seeing Luke grieve about Han Solo's death. We got that in the deleted scene, not in the actual cut though. I was mad though. We didn't get that. So Luke, this is better on Crate. First Order, Resistance. Luke, using the Force to make himself at Crate while he's still at Act 2, where Rey found him. Talks to Leia, saying everything's like nothing is truly gone. Kisses Leia, has this heartfelt scene between those brother and sister, winks at C-3PO, and distracts Kylo Ren so the Resistance can escape. Successful in doing that, but it cost him his life, which I was so mad. Because Luke Skywalker should have never died. Because, I'm using too much Force power, like, to protect myself. Like, at least he should have, like, died in terms of, like, Like he should have like been knocked out. Because I can understand if he hasn't used the Force in X amount of years, which he hasn't. That using the Force like that can strain the body to the point where he could pass out. But I don't think he would have died. I think that was like a no. Like I don't mind Luke Skywalker dying. I don't. Just the way he died. Like I think like I could have handled grumpy old Luke Skywalker because I made this argument multiple times. I was able to handle grumpy old Luke Skywalker because we had at least one more Star Wars movie after this, right? So I could tolerate grumpy old Luke because I could, even before I saw his scene, like the death scene, I could like handle it because like I said, okay, this movie is grumpy. Next movie is going to be a more mature version of Luke that we met in the original trilogy, which we essentially got in the episode 9, but it was a Force Ghost. I wanted to see Luke do something outside of just like lifting his X-Wing in the next movie, which was very nostalgic. Good placement, by the way, J.J. Abrams, but still, my point is, would have loved to see like Luke survive episode 8 or had a better death scene, better way to die, because I felt like this he shouldn't have died this way. And then Rey meets Poe. They introduce each other, which is a little bit that we got from the Force Awakens novel. And Poisha, the Resistance saved the day, but no one has come out to help them in the Battle of Crate. So right now, the Resistance is on their own. And everyone who survived somehow is in the Falcon. And Rey has the books that Yoda burned with the tree. Like, Rey got the books before the Yoda force lightning the tree. And like, this movie could have like been way better. Like, I remember when I first saw this, I was like one of those people that was praising it. But then I also like watched it a few more times because I do own it. Admittedly, like at first I was like praising it to like an extent where like saying, yeah, this is so good, I gotta buy it. So why I bought it so I could like watch it a few more times. I watched it in theaters 3 times. And by the second and third time I said, there's something wrong with this movie. It's like, that doesn't seem to be as enjoyable as the first 2 times. And I spotted some of the things I, just like I said. So I think I was like, hype, like running on like hype. Because I did not enjoy it as much as I thought I did. Granted that there was parts to the movie where I did enjoy. But for the most part, The Last Jedi is eh. The Rise of Skywalker is eh. The Force Awakens is the best one, in my opinion, of the sequel trilogy. But that's just me. So like the only thing I would have like potentially have changed, really like, is 1, the way Luke died, and 2, have the Resistance like. I would have had the like, besides the fuel thing, maybe like have a different reason why like it was hard for the Resistance to move from planet to planet. Cause though like I like it can kind of get like a the whole idea of like them having fuel was a like issues was a good idea for like the first act, but then it got somewhat boring through the second act. And I was having the third act that they were on Crate, like about time that they landed on some place. Admittedly, I did enjoy that Finn was kind of like a trigger happy person. and how Leia was trying to teach Poe not to focus solely on like the blasters, but focus on their brain and tactics. And I do enjoy Leia trying to pass that knowledge to Poe. I really enjoyed that. And I feel like towards the end of the movie, Poe began to understand what Leia was teaching him. So, like I said, I do enjoy the whole like dynamic between Leia and Poe. Hodo was an asshole. Let's be real. She was an asshole. She, like, I understand that she like had a lot on her plate, but there was like no need for her to be as much of a jerk as she was. So, and there was no need to kill off Admiral Akbar. No need. So, and the whole other thing is too, I love like when Luke was projecting his consciousness onto Crate, he had his father's lightsaber, and that wouldn't have been like irked me if we didn't have see like Rey and Kylo Ren having this Force tug of war breaking Anakin's lightsaber. Or I guess that was Luke's version of Anakin's lightsaber, but still it was Anakin's saber. What would have made that bit better? One, if they didn't like break the Anakin saber, so we can actually so that way people like me can make more sense of that scene. But two, having Luke's iconic green lightsaber that we've seen in Return of the Jedi, and now Book of Boba and Mandalorian. That scene would have been cooler. Would have had me more into the scene if he had this iconic green saber, but he didn't. So that I can go on and on about me like what I didn't like, but point is, I don't think I enjoyed it as much as I initially did when I first saw it, but it's like 4.5, maybe a 5 out of 10. It's not the best Star Wars movie I've seen. It's not the worst. The worst Star Wars movie I've seen, in my opinion, is the Holiday Special that came out in 1978. So, with that said, what do you beautiful people say? Let me know in the comment section down below. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to one another. I will talk to you fellow mutants later. May the force be with us all.